Hey friends! Today we're going to talk about our goats and why we chose goat milk. So come along and learn a little bit about our goats and why we think the goat milk may be a great thing for your family to try too. Alright, so that is about what Marie's giving right now. But it's really, really good milk, really high quality milk.
Ta-da!
So here we can see kind of the volume difference. This one is from Marie. This is a pint-sized jar. This is a half-gallon jar, and that's about how much we got from Luna. Neither one are at full production right now, so they're kind of winding down, but they're still in milk. But you can see it's almost double usually. Whatever we get from Marie, we usually get about double from Luna. Show them what you drew. Come here,
Yep.
right here. Sit with me.
I drew Luna.
So wait. So tell them about it.
This is Luna, and when I tried to hold her still, it was funny because she wouldn't stand still. I tried to draw her, and then she's like, "I'm done." Bye-bye.
It's a very good drawing though. You got her ears and everything.
Yeah, I scribbled it down real fast while she was eating.
So what are some reasons that a family might choose goat milk? Well, for one, it doesn't have the A1 casein protein that cow's milk does, so it does make it easier to digest, and a lot of families that can't have cow milk find that they can easily digest goat milk. It curds easier in the stomach, and it's digested a lot faster than cow's milk, so it makes a good choice. So I highly recommend if any of you are struggling with cow's milk. I know our family, we have a lot of lactose sensitive family members, and they're able to tolerate goat milk just fine. I don't know if any of you have ever noticed that kind of filmy feeling that you get in the back of your mouth after drinking cow milk. If any of you have that, that is an allergic reaction. I do not get that with goat milk. I struggle with that myself, but I found that goat milk I'm able to do just fine. So that's another reason that we love it around here. Another reason people would choose to start with goats is because they're a smaller animal, which means they're easier to manage. They're easier to learn on, though they do range in size from smaller than some dogs to you know, large, like a small pony. So it kind of depends on which breed of goat. Why did our family get into goat milk? Well, it all started a few years ago when Jeremiah had some feeding issues. We had suspected he might be lactose intolerant, and he had some other issues as well. He wasn't allowed to have cow milk, and after talking with some of his doctors and an herbalist and a couple other friends of mine that I trust their opinion, we decided to try goat milk. It worked. He did really well with it, so we got our own herd. Fast forward a few years later, we breastfeed my daughter Selah, but I wasn't making quite enough. After speaking with our lactation consultant and our doctor, we decided to try supplementing her with goat milk, and lo and behold, it's worked out fabulous. So one of the questions that I had when I first started researching getting our own herd was what breed to go with. There are so many different kinds. You have Nigerian dwarfs, pygmies, Lamachas, mini Lamachas, Nubians, mini Nubians, Alpines, Saanens. The list goes on and on. But for us, we wanted a smaller goat that was a good producer, that their teats were easy to work with, that we liked the taste of the milk. So we started with mini Lamachas first. We chose a Nigerian dwarf because the butter fat content was so awesome. She is amazing. The only problem that I have with Marie is that her teats are smaller, which makes it harder to milk. My husband cannot milk her because the teats are just too small. So it's a job for me or my oldest son. He likes to help. Other than that, she's fabulous. She does produce a little less. She's a quieter goat. She's very friendly. We did get her from a reputable breeder though, and she is a registered Nigerian dwarf, and she's very, very sweet. So she comes from excellent lines. Our other milk doe that's actually currently in milk is Luna, and she is a Nubian. I love her. She is very loud though. She does produce more milk. So there are pros and cons to her. The pros are she is a great producer. She produces a higher volume. She's really good on the stand. Some of the cons are she is a little louder. She's a little more needy. But she's still a very good goat, so we love her a lot, and she still is a good fit here. So Marie would probably be more quality, and our Nubian Luna would be more quantity. But we love them both. They both have great tasting milk. So let's talk a second about the myths about goat milk. I hear from a lot of people, I don't like goat milk, or I don't think I would like goat milk because I've heard it tastes like grass or it tastes goaty. There are a couple things that might cause this, but I'll just say in my experience, our goat milk doesn't really taste goaty. We are very careful what we feed them, and so that may be part of it. We don't have that problem though, or at least we haven't yet. We feed our goats a mix of alfalfa pellets, sunflower seeds, and a dairy goat feed. And they also have free choice alfalfa hay and fresh clean water. And they've just never really, and they browse some of the bushes around here too, and I've just never had that really grassy problem. Now I will say that there is a slight grassy taste maybe to Luna's milk, but Marie, absolutely not. No matter what she seems to eat even, it just doesn't. Now we do usually keep our bucks and our does separate, so maybe that has something to do with it. And like I said, their diet is pretty regulated, though they do sometimes eat some of these, like the trees back here, if they can reach any of that. They will sometimes kind of munch on those. Now I did say they're usually separate. They're not separate right now. If you look, they're all together. That's a have to for the moment because we're fixing to move in our home over here, and they needed the pens moved, kind of our temporary home until our house is built. So I had to move everybody into the same pen until that's done. But normally, the bucks and does are separate. Another myth I hear a lot is you can't have goats because you cannot keep them in. I would say they're harder to keep in than like a dog, but honestly, they're not that bad either. You need proper fencing, and we did learn the hard way that for a goat, you do have to have proper fencing. If they are taller than said fence, they will jump it. If they can lean the fence over, they will lean over it and get out. So you need a strong fence, and it doesn't hurt to have even 2 layers of protection for fencing, but you can keep a goat in. A friend of mine had a saying that if it doesn't hold water, it can't hold a goat. So I don't know that that's necessarily true, but I will say you do need adequate fencing. If you look right now, we have the cattle panels, the kind that have the smaller openings toward the bottom, and then the bigger openings toward the top. And then we also have a Premier solar charger, and we have a small line of electric wire. So far, we've not had any problem with that particular setup. So, I don't know, we're having some problems, and I'm gonna make a whole video about what we messed up on with our last fence. And we made some mistakes, and we had to redo the fence completely. So, I would say that myth is half true. Yes, it's hard to keep a goat in, but no, it's not impossible. So I forgot when I shot the video earlier, but there's one more note about the myth about grassy tasting goaty milk. There's another really important key to making sure your milk is not goaty. The other tip to make sure your goat milk is not, quote, goaty, is to make sure you cool it down as quickly as possible. So for me, as soon as the milk is in the bucket, I try to get it immediately into the refrigerator. We have actually a little outdoor refrigerator. So I just pop it in there and then finish the rest of the outside chores. And then after that's done, I move the milk inside and filter it and get it all good and clean and ready to drink.